Amoebae that hunt algae and bacteria are among fungi's closest relatives, even though they look nothing like mushrooms or molds. They remain single-celled predators. These organisms are called nucleariids. They are free-living predators with thin, radiating cell extensions living in freshwater, seawater, and sometimes feces. Most feed by engulfing algae or bacteria. Their bodies may be spherical or flattened. Their relationship was not obvious from appearance. DNA comparisons and cellular studies placed nucleariids beside fungi in a clade called Holomicoda, a group containing both. Older classifications initially separated these groups by appearance alone. One nucleariid, Fonticula alba, can gather into multicellular fruiting bodies called saurocarps with stalks and spore masses for dispersal. The cells first aggregate, then produce these structures. Their saurocarps are the visible clue. Among the broader group containing fungi and animals, multicellular bodies evolved independently rather than appearing only in fungi. The equals sign appeared in print in 1557, then disappeared for 61 years before becoming a standard mathematical symbol. Robert Ricord, a Welsh mathematician, introduced it in the Whetstone of Wit. At the time, equality was commonly written with words or abbreviations rather than one shared mark. The idea was familiar, the compact notation was not yet common. Ricord drew two parallel lines and called them gemmo lines, meaning twin lines. He chose them because, in his words, no two things could be more equal. The symbol reappeared in print in 1618, inside an anonymous appendix to Edward Wright's translation of John Napier's Descriptio. It gained more than general recognition in England in 1631 through influential mathematical works. Later, Isaac Newton and Gottfried Leibniz used the sign. Their use helped it spread across Europe, where two short lines could replace many competing ways of writing equality and enter routine mathematical notation. One scientist stayed Voyager's Project Scientist for 50 years, from its first planetary encounters to its journey into interstellar space. Voyager sent two spacecraft toward the giant planets of the outer solar system. Their route carried them past Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. One route connected 4 different worlds in one mission over decades using the same 2 spacecraft. Stone coordinated 11 science teams totaling about 200 scientists across 5 decades. He balanced observation targets and instrument use against spacecraft engineering constraints, linking scientific goals to what the machines could safely do. The mission found active volcanism on Jupiter's moon Io, along with new moons and ring systems around the giant planets. The discoveries broadened planetary science and exploration. Voyager 1 crossed the heliopause where the solar wind meets interstellar space in 2012. Voyager 2 followed in 2018. Stone remained Project Scientist until retiring in 2022 after half a century of guidance. The coldest, thinnest snowpacks can stay unstable for weeks because weak layers persist beneath harder wind slabs. Continental snowpacks are usually under 1.5 meters deep, forming in winter temperatures below degrees Celsius. Cold, infrequent storms leave less dense snow behind. Compared with deeper maritime snowpacks, depth alone does not determine danger. Faceted snow and depth hoar are weak, poorly bonded crystal structures. They can remain fragile beneath newer layers instead of strengthening quickly. A weak layer is a buried zone that can collapse when stressed. Wind can harden newer snow into a dense slab above them, hiding the weakness from the surface. That buried layer can trigger an avalanche on slopes gentler than those usually involved in maritime or intermountain snowpacks. Because the weakness persists, forecasters rely heavily on snowpit tests to assess stability. This persistence helps explain the association with higher avalanche fatality rates while depth alone remains insufficient. A sprawling South Carolina site built for nuclear materials was also where the neutrino was discovered. The location connects particle physics with a vast nuclear complex. The Savannah River Site is a United States Department of Energy complex beside the Savannah River. Construction began there during the 1950s, establishing an industrial setting for nuclear work and laboratories. Its heavy water reactors using water with heavier hydrogen, used neutrons to irradiate target materials, producing plutonium and tritium for nuclear weapons. That reactor activity supplied the nuclear production purpose behind the site. 5 heavy water reactors operated at the former Savannah River plant. Around them stood chemical separation, fuel and target, waste management, and other specialized nuclear facilities serving the complex. The Savannah River Site is also home to the Savannah River National Laboratory. Its history places a major particle physics discovery within infrastructure built for nuclear materials. The laboratory added a scientific institution alongside reactor production at the complex. The neutrino became the enduring scientific result for particle physics. A British surgeon helped make birch kulpa suspension globally popular for stress incontinence by combining urology and gynecology training. In 1971, Stuart Stanton became a research registrar at London's Institute of Urology. He saw that many women with incontinence were not well treated. Stress incontinence crossed medical boundaries. Stanton recognized that effective care required both gynecology and urology, then visited American specialists. He brought those combined techniques back to the United Kingdom. At St. George's Hospital, he established a specialist urogynaecology service. He trained surgeons in procedures including birch kulpa suspension. Imported knowledge became a teachable specialty. Those lessons traveled through people. 86 surgeons from 20 countries trained with Stanton. His students helped establish related departments and specialties elsewhere, extending the operation's reach beyond one hospital and one national system. The international result was a specialty built by teaching, not just by one procedure, across different healthcare systems. Cui Daozhi was called China's Sherlock Holmes after ballistic evidence connected armed attacks in Beijing and Xinjiang to one Type 81 rifle. Separate locations pointed to one firearm. Cui trained in trace evidence analysis from 1957 to 1959, then became a criminal investigation technician. Trace evidence means physical material examined for links, including ballistic evidence, bite marks, and fingernail fragments. In the 1990s, he examined bullets and cartridge casings recovered from the 2 locations. His ballistic identification concluded that both sets had been fired from the same Type 81 rifle. That conclusion connected investigations separated by geography without requiring the firearm to be recovered at every location. The findings led to Bai Baoshan's arrest within a week. Across a career lasting more than 60 years, Cui handled over 1,200 major cases and conducted more than 7,000 trace evidence analyses. His nickname came from using small physical traces to link separate investigations. While serving as mayor of Kansas City, Kansas, John E. Reardon received a heart transplant and continued in public office afterward. He became the first U.S. mayor with a transplanted heart while still in office. Reardon was elected mayor at age 31 and served from 1976 to 1987. Before the transplant, City Hall was his public workplace for more than a decade. Cardiomyopathy, a disease of the heart muscle, led to the operation. On February 18, 1987, surgeons at the University of Kansas Medical Center performed the transplant. The operation happened during his final months as mayor while he was still serving. He left the mayoralty in April when Joe Steiniger Jr. succeeded him, but the same election placed Reardon on the Wyandotte County Commission. His public service continued in local elected office after the transplant, even though Reardon died in 1988 at age 45.